On one side stood a prime minister who rose up from the masses, a poet, a laureate, and a champion of peace. Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. In the other hand, at the time, the richest merchant in all of Pakistan, who rose to become the Prime Minister in the forest fire known as Pakistani democracy, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. To prevent a nuclear holocaust, these two completely different people came together to sign the Lahore Declaration and to serve as an appetizer to this deal. Pakistani cricket team came to tour India. Today, we will look back into a few stories that happened on the cricket field, and more importantly, the backstabbing that went on at the same time on the battlefield. Our story begins in 1989. On one side, India was touring Pakistan to play 4 tests. It was to be a historic bilateral tour because for the next 10 years, there was to be a complete freeze on cricket between the two countries. Mainly because of the numerous terrorist activities being planned in the Pakistan military high command. Among the numerous plans devised, there was one known as Operation Tupac, with the main goal of capturing Kargil and mainly taking over NH1, the main highway connecting India to Ladakh. If executed properly, Pakistan henceforth would control over the entire Ladakh region. Fast forward to 1998. For 10 years, India-Pakistan relations have kept on worsening. Homegrown terrorism has been successfully employed by Pakistan to stain the white snow of Kashmir Valley in blood. And on May 1998, it reached its peak when both the countries conducted nuclear tests.
Those economic sanctions against India. I have long supported deepening the relations between the United States and India.
And finally, on the brink of a nuclear war, the diplomatic relations thawed. For the next 4 months, amid furious back-channel talks, a plan was proposed. Indian PM Atal Bihari Vajpayee would visit Lahore to conduct peace talks. And what better way to start this historical journey than to resume bilateral cricket relations between the two nations. In October though, as plans were being devised for this series, a Pakistan military chief of staff, General Pervez Musharraf, found a long forgotten plan, Operation Tupac. In January, Pakistan team landed in India to play the first of 3 tests, and Musharraf had finalized his revised plan, now called Operation Kopaima. The first test ended on 31st Jan, and Northern Lights Infantry of Pakistan had started rigorous training for the surprise attack. The second test ended on 7th February, and it was made legendary by Kumble, who became the second person to take all 10 wickets in an inning. On the other side, Musharraf had finalized the logistics and munition supply into Kargil. The third test in Kolkata was converted into the first match of Asian Test Championship. Now, let me ask you first, do you remember the 1996 World Cup semi-final between India and Sri Lanka in Kolkata? Sachin got out, batting order collapsed, and spectators, in anger, set the stands on fire. Amid glass bottles and seeds being thrown onto the ground, match referee Lloyds declared Sri Lanka the winner. And the same thing was bound to be repeated again in this third test match. In the first innings, Sachin got out for 0. In the second innings, with India sitting comfortably at 145 for 2, Sachin, while trying to complete a run, bumped into Shoaib Akhtar, which, with an on-point throw on the stumps, caused Sachin to be run out and started the furore from the crowd. Sachin and Dalmia actually had to come out and calm down the spectators to avoid a mishap. This matter should have ended right there, but on the next day, the Eden Garden grounds was again filled to the brink to watch their Ganguly Dada bat. And the moment he got out, things reached a boiling point. Fires were set. Anything that could be thrown was thrown onto the ground. In the end, police actually had to conduct a lathi charge on the miscreants involved, and the entire stadium was emptied. The final few overs were played in an empty stadium, with Pakistan winning the match. This match ended on February 20th, on the eve of Vajpayee's visit to Pakistan. And all that was needed was a go-ahead for Operation Kopaima to start. As India played the second match of the tournament against Sri Lanka, the NLI had started its campaign, and by the time the final of the tournament concluded at the end of the March, Pakistan had captured initial Indian outposts in Kargil. Throughout April, Pakistan finished its encroachment into Indian territory. Until May, supply lines were established deep into the Indian territory. There are even reports that General Musharraf himself had travelled to Zikriya Mushtaqar Chowk, 11 kilometers into the Indian territory. On May 3rd though, a sheep herder named Tashi Namgyal had spotted people in Pathan outfits occupying Indian outposts, and he promptly informed the Indian army. Army, on the other hand, quickly dispatched reconnaissance units into the outposts to confirm the news. One of such units never returned. 5 days later though, their bodies were found, tortured, mangled, distorted beyond recognition, and Indian media got hold of this news. What followed was a complete mobilization of Indian military, air force and navy.
शनिवार पौने 8 बजे है और भारतीय सेना ने
On 31st May, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee declared in Parliament that this has become a warlike state. And the proof came on 11th June, when India released a conversation between Musharraf and Lieutenant General Amir Khan.
सारे ऑपरेशन की कामयाबी की बुनियादी वजह यही है कि उन्होंने लोगों को नहीं बताया.
It clearly showed that this was an attack planned and carried out by Pakistani military and not just a terrorist misadventure. In spite of clear evidence though, Prime Minister Vajpayee refused to open up a new front and escalate the war. Furthermore, the army was instructed that at no point should they cross the line of control. This measure of restraint by India was lauded throughout the world, and American President Bill Clinton personally called up Nawaz Sharif to demand a retreat of his army. This restraint came at a cost though. Captain Vikram Batra, Paramveer Chakra, Captain Manoj Pandey, Paramveer Chakra, Captain Hamid, Veer Chakra, along with 527 soldiers. They had to lay down their lives to pave a way for victory. Each and every inch of Kargil was captured at the cost of blood and sacrifice by our Indian soldiers. On 26 July, finally, each and every dregs of Pakistani military was thrown out of Kargil. We had won, at a cost, but we had won. So, this was the story of cricket diplomacy and the vicious backstab that has become characteristic of Pakistani duplicity. This was the story of how India responded to that betrayal with grit and fortitude. And the story where India showed the world we will defend what is ours, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice.